All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour, where after 4 long hours of negotiations between Russia and the NATO members, there is still no breakthrough on the issue of Ukraine. Now, the United States has largely settled on the options for sanctions against Russia should it decide to carry out a ground invasion of Ukraine. The country has said that it will be prepared to impose sanctions as soon as any tanks begin to roll in.
We've already seen a significant effort by Moscow to make false claims about Europe, Ukraine, and the United States in an effort to excuse Russia's behavior and potentially create a pretext for Russia to further invade Ukraine. No one should be surprised if Russia spreads disinformation about commitments that have not been made, or if Moscow goes even further and instigates something as a pretext for further destabilizing activity. As you heard from the deputy this morning, we urge everyone not to fall for Moscow's continuing disinformation.
The Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Alexander Grushko has said that talks with NATO in Brussels had been open and direct. The United States has also warned that a further worsening of ties could actually bring unpredictable consequences for European security.
Мы сегодня констатировали, что состоялся очень откровенный разговор, об этом и говорил Йенс Столтенберг. Он был трудным, но глубоким, откровенным, и это уже хорошо, с учетом той остроты ситуации, которая сложилась в сфере европейской безопасности. И еще раз подчеркну, мы сделали первый шаг, мы изложили на бумаге, мы опубликовали наше видение, как мы видим движение вперед в правильном направлении. И сегодня мы призвали наших партнеров к тому, чтобы и они тоже изложили на бумаге свои представления, в каком направлении двигаться. И тогда станет понятно, какие инструменты, в том числе переговорные форматы, могут быть востребованы для того, чтобы обеспечить.
And also NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has said that Russia will not dictate the security arrangements in other nations.
NATO allies are clear-eyed about the prospects for progress in these talks. They expressed serious concern about the Russian military build-up in and around Ukraine and called on Russia to immediately de-escalate the situation and to respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of its neighbors. They also called on Russia to refrain from aggressive force posturing and malign activities directed against allies and abide by all its international obligations and commitments. And this means that our dialogue, all this means that our dialogue is difficult, but even more necessary. NATO allies stress that they will make every effort to find a political way forward.
While Russia has denied on multiple occasions that it has no plans of invading into Ukraine, Washington and its allies have said that they simply cannot trust Moscow by its words. Now, Moscow has put forth some pretty strong demands from the 30-member bloc. Firstly, to end any further NATO expansion in Eastern Europe. And secondly, to withdraw the forces of the NATO alliance from the Central and Eastern European nations to the boundaries that existed way back in 2008. And thirdly, that no former Soviet nations should be included in this military alliance. And all NATO members have refused to bow down to Russia's demands. In fact, in the latest meeting, the bloc has said that it is the member decision to decide as to who should be a part of the alliance. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.